is Condors Unleashed.
Drop wins the face off to the left point. Hayes and drives, score!
Headlines, highlights, coach's corner, player interview, and everything happening around Condors Town. Now in HD.
Missed wide of the net. To the left wing, corner centering feed. Brenner all alone in the slot, scores! A nice job from Tyler Brenner. Pass it didn't take a trouble, now it does. He's in all alone. Backhand scores! Welcome back, Nick Tromblin. Net to the side of the cage, back to the right point, Bergdorfer, he scores! The captain from the right circle.
Now, two guys just trying to capture the spirit of the thing. Here are the voices of the Condors, Ryan Holt and Kevin Bartle.
Not only are we trying to capture the spirit of the thing, we're trying to capture some turkey legs on their way out as well.
Seriously.
What a Be Well live show.
I'm full already. It's not even lunchtime. Not even our lunchtime.
If you missed it, Be Well live with Lisa Kirch will be on demand. But that was,
It was as good or better as it looked.
I mean, we're going to enjoy some Mountain Mike's pizza. Don't get me wrong, but the turkey, the stuffing, the cranberry with the
Maybe
cream
Mountain
cheese.
Mike's can make a pizza for us with that cranberry bourbon cream cheese all over the top of it. And then we're ready
bacon.
to go. And bacon.
Yeah, bourbon and bacon. That's what we're all about. Ryan Holt and Kevin Bartle, welcome inside Condors Unleashed, everyone. Episode 6 of Condors Unleashed. Barks.
That's right. That's right. Episode 6 for everybody who's in the know. Of course, Return of the Jedi. I'm a little disappointed you didn't say Episode 5 at start last week's show because Empire Strikes Back is my favorite.
What happened in Empire Strikes Back? I don't.
What didn't happen in Empire Strikes Back?
I'm going to have to watch
Yoda's
Star Wars at some point
introduced.
during our tenure
Yeah, well,
together.
yes.
Well, this is episode 6 of Condors Unleashed, live from the Dignity Health Studios here at the Bakersfield, California. And we're also simulcast on Fox Sports Radio 970 on demand as well. Check out Condors TV. All the past episodes are up there and archived as well. And Bart's, I like to say it, but it's another great show. I mean, we have another great show rolled out.
Well, I
how
hate
we've
to be-
gotten to this far, I don't know, but we have another one.
I hate to be presumptuous by saying it's going to be a great show before it is a great show, but Chris Collins will be our guest. And is there a hotter Condor in Condorstown than Chris Collins? I submit not.
No, he scores 3 goals over the weekend, and now he's tied for the team lead in scoring. So
Just
how
like
about that? Just like that. You have one good weekend. We'll show Chris's highlight coming up in just a little bit on Saturday. Get a quick little goal. Get yourself going. Get 2 more on Sunday.
No big deal.
And now come back and go head down to Ontario with the team lead.
And everybody's favorite segment, Troy Mann will be in, a little
Thought
coach's
you were going
corner.
to say for the record.
No, it's
I
not
thought you
for
were
the
gonna say
record.
for the
But when Troy Mann comes in, and we'll talk over some video. What video are we going to look at today?
We're going to look at the controlled breakout and the controlled forecheck, everything that is to be controlled in a hockey game.
I'm willing
The
to
set
bet
plays,
that a
if you
number of
will.
people watching right now do not actually know what a controlled breakout is. So
We're
we will
going
define it
to show you.
and show you.
We're going to show you. It's basically, if you're a basketball player, it's a set play. It's the 3-man weave. If you're a
You lost me at
football
basketball
player,
fan.
it's the screen. It's the set play.
All right.
Barts.
It's the corner kick.
It's the set. Soccer, really? Really?
All right. You know what I think it's time for?
Yeah, after that soccer mention,
Holty's headlines.
I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
There's nothing wrong with the beautiful game. It's a lot more beautiful than basketball, I think. My personal opinion.
Are we live? Are we live?
We're live. Camera
We're live.
7, please.
Camera 23. All right. It's right on my sheet. Holty's headlines. First headline, let's take a look at what happened last week. Of course, the field trip at day game, Stockton getting the better of the Condors. But, Bartz, how about that crowd for that field trip at day game? Almost 6,000 kids.
They were great. They enjoyed themselves, I think, despite the loss. And they got to see more fights than goals.
And they're still trying to figure out what the Fox says.
That's
We're
true.
all still trying to figure out what the Fox says. If anybody knows, let me know. I'll tell Mike Griffith that we can stop playing that video.
Isn't that what the Fox says?
At some point during that song, I think. On to Saturday. Of course, we have some highlights for this one, but Ontario getting the better of the Condors, a 4-2 victory over Bakersfield. And if we can, let's roll the highlights from Saturday's game. The Condors unable to knock off the rain, but again, another great crowd, 6,000 in Bakersfield. And it's going to get started here with Ontario trying their controlled breakout, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. And the Condors are forcing the turnover on the left wing side. And this play's just going to cycle around, and then, oh, hold on. We have a goal from Joel Broda from the high slot. Did you see that shot?
Want to see my shocked face? Broda scored from the slot? That's weird. I mean, what a shot this guy has, or where he releases that from. I mean, typically speaking, you want your goalie to stop those. A wrister from the top of the circles, but forget it.
I mean, we were talking with Joel Broda last week about scoring from the slot, and I felt like, oh, we showed the wrong highlight. But no, it's just him scoring from the slot once again. And then Dancing Granny's going to get the crowd going. And why does Dancing Granny get the crowd going? Because the Condors trailed by 2 late in this hockey game, but we're going to cut into that lead. It's 3-1 Ontario at this moment, and right on cue. We had mentioned it on the broadcast. Dancing Granny looking to spark the comeback. Joe Marciano holds the puck in, right half wall. Collins into the corner. Back for Collins. And there's the goal. And cue that one up. We'll show that one later and break it down a little bit with Chris Collins. And Bart, sometimes it takes a goal like that, a chippy little goal at the side of the net, gets a guy going. And we saw that later in the week with him getting 2 on Sunday.
That's just how this game goes. I mean, you know, when you're struggling to get goals like Chris Collins had, you're not going to get a short in breakaway, and you're not going to just blast them from the blue line. That's just not how goal-scoring streaks are snapped, and it's a funny game like that. That's how you're going to get them, when you're driving the net and one bounces off you and goes in. I love it.
Condors get a late power play in this game. They pull the goalie, and a Nicholas Tremblay. Is there a guy who's more snake bit right now than Nicholas Tremblay? Backhander to tie the hockey game. It goes up off the crossbar, and the Condors are going to keep the pressure on here. It'll come back to the point, but Oakley's shot will get knocked down. That one will roll to the corner. The Condors get another effort here, but De Silva might have gotten away with a little bit of a cross-check there. We don't know. We talked with some officiating folks, but De Silva ends up with the empty netter, and then we're going to have a little fisticuffs at the end of the game with Joel Broda and Cody Saul. Broda taking exception to a couple of stick whacks there in the crease, and the captain sticking up for the rest of his team, and it really showed the emotion, I think. And I'm not sure what Michael Hutchinson and Chris. We're going to ask. Cue that one up too. We're going to ask Chris Collins what was said between Hutchinson and Collins.
There's a conversation being had there that we're not privy to, but we're going to find out.
We're going to find out what was said, because you don't often see a goalie grab a forward. And, of course, the Condors goalie at this point, Chet Pickard, was already off the ice. He was pulled for the extra attacker, so he could not come back onto the ice to get involved in the melee. But
then after that, you even saw right at the tail end there a couple of seconds ago, after Broda's melee was the only one going on, Hutchinson skates over and he stands next to Collins, and then they start talking again.
They're old friends. They're old chaps. They're just hanging out, saying hello.
No, I loved it. I love the intensity out of the guys, and that Ontario game, for what it's worth, is a game that the Condors played very well in.
Yeah.
I think from beginning to end, probably the team's most complete game that they've played this season, and it just so happens it was against Ontario, and they're a good team.
And on Sunday, the Condors ended their 3-game losing skid with a big victory in the shootout against the Stockton Thunder, 4-3, the final up there. Chase Shaber had the late goal. The Condors led this game 2-0 at the end of 2. Stockton would score 3 in a row in the third period, and then Chase Shaber tied it up 3-3 late before Jordan Knackstead won it in a shootout with a lone shootout goal. Chet Pickard was great. He made 5 saves in the shootout to get the victory for Bakersfield. So the Condors enter the week on a high note, and we'll get to more on that later here in Holty's Headlines, but always like to throw in a little curveball here on Holty's Headlines. I mean, what would Holty's Headlines be without a curveball? Well, in the American Hockey League last week, 2 former Condors squared off. It was Stu Bickle against Bobby Robbins, and we have the video. Let's take a look.
There's a pass broken up, and Bickle tips it down to the Providence zone and slides toward the net. Svedberg has trouble with it, and he's going to be forced to cover just as Bickle arrives on the scene, and now he gets shots exchanged as Castro came in and gave Bickle a bit of a shove. Bickle, it looked like, was headed hard toward the net and then slowed himself down at the last second as he saw that Svedberg was going to cover it. Now Robbins and Bickle drop the gloves. Bickle throwing right hands. Robbins trying to steady himself. A right by Bickle. He knocks Robbins' helmet off. A couple of right hands by Bickle. And he's got Robbins pinned up against the boards. Robbins a right. Bickle working in tight quarters. A body punch by Bickle. They continue to wrestle around. A couple of rights by Robbins, a right by Bickle, a right by Robbins. All right by Robbins. Bickle trying to get his right loose again. Robbins throwing punches to the side of Bickle's head.
We can
And the linesman
cut it there. The linesman will
move in
step
now.
in. Bobby Robbins, Stu Bickle.
The Hawk with the call, by
Hawk
the
with
way.
the call. Bob Crawford. And dare I say, that could be the first time that the Condors have ever had two former players square off against one another in the American
I
Hockey
really
League.
thought about it for a long time, and I couldn't recall any other time. There haven't been that many guys that have gone up who have been fighters that would have crossed paths in the same year, but there you have it.
Bobby Robbins led the American Hockey League with 316 penalty minutes last season. That is absurd in this day and age. He's certainly the toughest customer around, and Stu Bickle as well. He played back in 2009-10. Bobby Robbins, of course, in Bakersfield 2010-11. Good to see some alums doing some good things in the American Hockey League. Also had some new faces in Condors Town this week, of course, with the new forwards, Austin Mayer, Thurber, Fulmer as well. Coming to Bakersfield. But Edmonton made some deals as well over the past week and a half. They brought in a goaltender, Laurent Brossoit. And Brossoit, they're pictured with the Oklahoma City Barons over the past week, currently up there with Tyler Bunce. There is a plethora of goaltenders right now in the Edmonton system. It doesn't end with Brossoit and Waugh. They have Rimmer, Pickard's here. LaBarbera was just waived to send down to Oklahoma City. Brizgalov was signed. That's humongous news.
They have a humongous list of
humongous
goalies.
list of netminders. And if the name Laurent Brossoit sounds a little familiar, if you're thinking, hey, where have I heard that before? Well, we have video. He played against the Condors earlier this season with the Alaska Aces, and he did very well shutting out the Condors. We'll get a couple look at some stops up in Alaska and some goals as well. But the Aces ended up winning that hockey game, but Laurent Brossoit did a great job and played well with the Aces. So we don't know what's going to happen over the course of the next week, but the Condors are going to need a goaltender. Obviously, there's just one left with Chet Pickard, and they're going to need one sooner rather than later. So we'll see who gets sent down to Bakersfield, but it should be within the next week, I would assume. I think. I'd hope so.
You would think so, but the one thing that we have going against us is you never know.
You never know.
We're not in those meetings. Edmonton's going to have plans for their own goaltenders all throughout their system. So who knows? As of right now, Chet Pickard's the man. Could get another guy, though, any day now.
I don't know. Bartle doesn't know. Let's take a look at the upcoming Condor schedule for our last Holty's headlines. The Condors are heading on the road. We're getting on the bus 10 o'clock in the morning on a Friday. We're heading down to Southern California, taking on the Ontario Reign. Friday night is a 7 o'clock start time on Fox Sports Radio 970. And then on Saturday, it's an earlier start time. It's a 6 o'clock start in Ontario on a Saturday. And then coming up on a Tuesday, November the 26th, the Condors return home. And I have props with me, Bartle.
You ruined my stack.
It's canned food.
I had a nice stack going.
We got chicken noodle and some tuna fish.
You know, and if you put those together, you can make a heck of a tuna casserole.
Tuna casserole right here.
I told you.
If you bring two canned items to the game on November the 26th, non-perishable. Two. You can bring them to Condor's office right now.
That also means that non-perishable food items doesn't have to be in a can.
No, it could be cereal.
Could be a box of mac and cheese. And who doesn't like that? No one.
Velveeta.
Yeah. Non-perishable.
Velveeta.
Means
bring
it
some Velveeta.
doesn't perish.
And on that Tuesday, if you do bring the two canned food items, you can bring them to the office right now. But if you bring them on Tuesday, you get a ticket voucher for $1 up in the upper level, up in the terrace. Then the Condors hit the road. Next Wednesday, the reason why there won't be any Condors Unleashed, we're on the road. We have a game to play. So no Condors Unleashed next week. Next Wednesday, November the 27th, 7:30 start time up in San Francisco. Take on the Bulls. It's a home-and-home series. And then everyone, well, I shouldn't say everyone, but my favorite game coming up on November the 30th, Teddy Bear Toss. For the first time in my history, my brief Condors history, We're facing someone other than Ontario, and I'm excited about that.
It's everybody's favorite game, Holty.
All right, it's everyone's
Teddy
favorite game.
It's Teddy Bear Toss.
Teddy Bear Toss, if you don't know, bring teddy bears to the game. Some great footage here from the Californian from last year's Teddy Bear Toss. Last year,
Unbelievable.
the Condors almost set the record. We had 7,900 teddy bears last season. The record is 8,075. 8,075 is the record. If we don't top it this year, I will be disappointed. The crowds normally always go above 8,000. The record is 8,929. That was set back in 2008. So if everyone just brings a teddy bear, we're almost guaranteed to see a record. If everyone brings 2, we'll definitely set a record.
It's quite a scene every year, regardless of whether we get the record or not. Over 50 different agencies throughout Kern County benefited last year. That's about par for the course. United Way of Kern County does a great job after we collect them all up and get them off the ice. They do the counting and the distribution all throughout the county. I mean, they cover the entire county, by the way, and just about every agency that you could imagine gets a hold of at least one teddy bear or stuffed animal. And it's just amazing how many lives the Teddy Bear Toss has touched over the years. We're talking about 88,000. It's only a couple of seasons guaranteed before we hit 100,000 stuffed animals, which is just absolutely remarkable.
Absurd. And if you're sitting at home watching Condors Unleashed right now and you're thinking, hey, I'd like to go to Teddy Bear Toss, don't wait. Don't wait to get your tickets. Call 324-PUCK.
Get them now.
324-7825. Visit Ticketmaster.com. Book your group. If you want to sit in the lower level, make sure you book your group. Get down there in the lower level because tickets are flying, and they're flying fast. And when you do come, make sure to come early. I don't want to hear you say, hey, Holty, I missed the goal. I didn't get to throw my teddy bear on time. Hey, I was in the bathroom. Hey, I was at the concession stand. I don't care. Get there, get in your seats, toss your bears. It'll be a lot of fun. On November the 30th, Canned Food Drive. November the 26th as well. Holty's Headlines is in the books. When we come back, we'll sit down in the coach's corner. Condors head coach, Troy Mann. It's all coming up on Condors Unleashed. Live from the Dignity Health Studios at the Bakersfield, California. Fox Sports Radio 970. Stay tuned.